Hi everybody, I'm happy to have you here today for October's STEM program. I can't wait until we can start meeting again in person. But until then, let's go ahead and dive in to our pumpkin fun and our catapults. I'm going to go ahead and start with our pumpkins. So each year I've done this so far, we have dissected a pumpkin and then performed some science experiments on it. So what I'd like to do with you today is I have a pre-dissected pumpkin and we're going to go over all of its parts. So of course, the first part we all know of is the stem. The stem, whenever it's growing, usually has a leaf and then a vine that is connected to all of the other pumpkins, and that's kind of where it grows from. So again, if you go to a pumpkin patch and you get to pick your own pumpkin, you may get to see that. But if you go to the grocery store and buy your pumpkins, you're most likely not going to find those things on there, kind of like a watermelon. So we have a diagram here as well. So like I said, you'll have your stem, a leaf, and a vine. Then you have the outside layer of your pumpkin. That's the very bright orange that you have. It is called the skin. And then this inner part here, like the thickness of your pumpkin, that is called your pulp. The pulp is actually very hard. So whenever you cut into your pumpkin and you guys go to dissect your own or, whatever you're going to do with it, make sure to look for these parts. And it's also kind of neat to know how it's made up. So again, this is the pulp. It's hard. That's the part you have to cut through in order to get the top off. The skin, the stem, and then as you guys can see here, all of these, what do you think they're called? Yes, if you said strands, which is exactly what they look like, then you would be correct. And of course, we have seeds. So up close here, I have the strands that we were talking about. They're fibrous. It's really neat if you actually cut a piece of the pumpkin off and kind of get into it. When you start ripping it, you will see so not just the gooey parts, but the individual strands that are in there. It almost reminds me of like spaghetti squash, if you guys have ever done that, or zucchini. And then, of course, this is the pulp and the skin, which is very hard. And then there's some cool things you could do with the stem. This is part of the stem. You could do some stem stamping with it, maybe create some fall art, hand out some cards, make some posters. And you can't forget about the seeds. Pumpkins have so many seeds. So what can you do with the seeds? Well, you can replant them, make more pumpkins for next year. Then you can watch how they grow. You can have your own pumpkins, and you can start to kind of see the differences between them, which is a whole nother thing in itself. So back to the pumpkins. See all of this ooey gooey stuff in there? Every pumpkin's different. So one thing that you can do with your pumpkin is you can get different sizes of pumpkins, or if you do this in a group, each of you have a different size pumpkin, measure it, take its diameter, check on the inside, and see the differences between the pumpkins and what maybe makes them different. A fun science experiment to do also would be like a pumpkin volcano, which there's a lot of those on there too. Normally, I would go into more detail with the pumpkins, but seeing as this is a video and we're not able to really do all of the things that I would normally do at a program with those, that's about all I have with that today. But if you guys want to shoot a pumpkin volcano or you guys dissecting your own pumpkins and send it to me and I can post it with this video, that'd be great. I would love to see what you guys are doing. So another activity that I have, since that one was so quick, is a really cool, simple, and can be much more elaborate, but I'm going to go over the basics, kind of like I did with our marble run, and see what you guys come up with for some catapults. So because it's fall and everybody likes candy corn, or maybe dislikes candy corn, but it's fall, so find ways to use it other than eat it. These are really cool for that. I actually had trouble finding candy corn at the store, so I have Hotel Transylvania gummies. You could try the pumpkins, like they have the candy pumpkins. You can try different materials afterwards. I always encourage trying new things with the experiments that we do and seeing what the results are. So let's go ahead and get to the experiment. You need at least 7 of the popsicle sticks. I like the big ones just because they're easier to work with. And my fingers, they work better with them. But you can also use the regular size popsicle sticks too. And I invite you guys to also use other materials that I maybe not going to talk about or use today and see what kind of catapults you guys can come up with. So first you want to take 4 and 5. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 popsicle sticks and make a stack. And then you're going to take your rubber bands. I have big ones. If you have access to small ones, use the small ones. They're easier. You won't have to turn it as many times. But what you want to do is you want to rubber band that end so they stick together. Straighten them up in case you have a little bit of a wiggle there, and then go to the other side and also rubber band it. All right, we're off to a great start. Let me go ahead and do a couple more. Again, I have the big rubber bands. If you have access to the smaller ones, they are easier to work with, and they don't change any of the stability. So I just have my regular 5 popsicle sticks. So I said we needed 7, right? Well, the other 2 go on the outside, and you are going to rubber band down here to start with. So it tends to wiggle on you a little bit, but once you start getting it, it's a lot easier. So, all right. As you can see, this still moves. So what do you think we have to do next? That's right. We need to put one on the cross. So not the top, because if we do it on the top, it will close this shut, and we need it to not be shut. But we also need this to not move. So we are going to take and make an X pattern right here in the middle. So by doing that, you'll see how you make a cross? So you're going to rubber band that a couple times. That one you may need a little bit bigger of a rubber band for, maybe not. But as you can see, it's lopsided now. So, of course, to make it even, we're going to have to do the other side. So we'll go ahead and do that really quickly. In some of the different online catapults that I've seen, you can put like a lid to a pop bottle or juice or something on top here. That's more for younger kids if you're having trouble like getting something to balance on there while you're trying to shoot it. I've also seen some people insert a plastic spoon here. Again, that would probably be for easier catapulting with your materials that you're using. So that's really it. That's all you have to do. That way we have some energy to expel. So let's go ahead and try it out. Are you ready? So if I hold here, it kind of moves all over the place. I recommend using the side, holding it from the side and the front, pulling back, and it worked. Goal! So again, if you guys were here, I would do so many fun things with this. We could measure how far we shoot things. We can set up goals to try and hit. We can have competitions, of course. So if you're doing this with your friends or your siblings, that's a great way to expand this activity. Also, go ahead and see if there's different things. Maybe changing where the rubber bands are could change how far of a distance you shoot things, maybe less, maybe more. Again, you could change this part as well. Less sticks, more sticks, and see what works. Maybe something will work better. There's also other ideas out there on how to build these catapults, or what I really like is you can create your own blueprint, come up with some materials, and make your own catapult using the same basic logic. I think you could use clothespins, unsharpened pencils, duct tape, rubber bands, popsicle sticks. I mean, straws. The possibilities are endless. So, really, I hope you guys get out there, and I hope that I've inspired you to try and build something like this or build your own and have fun this weekend. All right. Well, I will see you guys in November, and we will be learning all kinds of more fun fall things. All right, until then, bye.